it's raining today. Actually, we technically lost an hour today too because of all the daylight savings. Actually, it makes me wonder, does that stuff actually work nowadays, or are people just so used to it they're like, yeah, no one's ever changed it? Although I did read they were planning to get rid of it. And what did I read today? I guess with that story yesterday about the FAA in the US having a set date in implementing all those new drone regulations, I guess other places in the world are starting to do things with drone regulations too. This one says, PM Imran approved setting up a civil drone authority to regulate industry. The decision came after a meeting with relevant officials in Islamabad. The statement said, adding that the authority will put in place an institutionalized mechanism to facilitate development and regulation of drone technology in Pakistan. Addressing the meeting, the Prime Minister said employing drone technology for commercial research and development, agricultural and other peaceful purposes was the need of the hour. Responsibilities of the authority will include developing standards for manufacturing, operations, training, and research and development. Furthermore, it will also provide technical guidance to the industrial sector to facilitate domestic manufacturing. And it says, quote, the authority will also have the power to impose fines and penalties, revoke licenses, and prosecute, the statement said. The establishment of the authority will not only fill the gap that exists due to the absence of any law on drones, but will also play an important role in the development of drone technology and production in the country, it added. The Premier said the process of legislation for the establishment of the authority should be completed on a, quote, priority basis, adding it should be introduced in Parliament after approval by the Cabinet. That made me think, where people that use that point saying, oh, you need immediate drone regulations or over-the-top ones because there isn't anything in existence. If you think about it, even here, there's already a lot of laws that cover things where it doesn't matter what you use. For example, a lot of people will say, oh, you need to protect people from being spied on with the drone cameras and all that, even though it's like a wide angle lens. If you think about it, there's already laws, for example, like voyeurism and all that. It doesn't matter what you use. Smartphone, mirrorless camera, a drone, if someone is literally flying it right up to them. There's already laws that exist that take care of stuff like that, where if you use something in a bad way, then you'll be punished. So if you are creating things like regulations and all that, it should be more about actual safety, not hysteria and all that. And a comment to it was kind of interesting, was basically diving into the topic of universal standard, if there is any. This one says, another great step towards the future. Well done. Will this authority work with CAA, as all other drone authorities in the world are part of the civil aviation? Also, will this cover leisure and hobby drones? Will this also cover drone software and AI parameters? And then they respond by saying, Drone Authority will regulate all non-military drones, including hobby leisure drones. CAA division will initiate summary, but authority will include all stakeholders. I just know from reading the news and all that so far, that's not really true. Most places in the world, where in terms of things like a hobby or leisure drone user, like they say here, they haven't really gotten the voice in many ways. It's been all commercial companies, it seems like. If you think about it, for recreational flyers, they've mostly been attacked by, I guess you could say, corrupt commercial operators, where they want over-the-top regulations as a way to stifle competition and creativity so that they're the only ones using the tech, or at the same time to sell useless courses just so they can make money. And it got me to think, because in those cases, even from my observation, they can never debate people on the facts. It's always trying to slander people, trying to play on people's ignorance. And that got me to think, because I personally think those people are kind of dangerous just in life in general. And reading this article, completely different story, but it makes you think. This one here says, a Bucks County woman created deepfake videos to harass rivals on her daughter's cheerleading squad. DA says, a Bucks County woman anonymously sent coaches on her teen daughter's cheerleading squad fake photos and videos that depicted the girls' rivals naked, drinking, or smoking, all in a bid to embarrass them and force them from the team, prosecutors say. The woman, Rafaela Spone, also sent the manipulated images to the girls and, in anonymous messages, urged them to kill themselves. Spone was charged late last week with misdemeanor counts of cyber harassment of a child and related offenses, according to the affidavit of probable cause for her arrest. She was released on the condition that she appear at a preliminary hearing on March 30th. Can you imagine that? A parent going to this extreme to essentially create all these fake pictures and stuff like that just to slander and ruin someone's, I guess, reputation? It says here, the affidavit says Spohn last year created the doctored images of at least 3 members of the Victory Vipers, a traveling cheerleading squad based in Doylestown. After analyzing the video, detectives determined they were deep fakes, digitally altered but realistic looking images created by mapping the girls' social media photos onto other images. You often see these in a lot of, I guess, comedy or parody videos. For example, they'll put someone's head in replacement in a movie that's really, I guess, comedic or over the top as a way just to mock the person. But yes, in this case, the person used it in a malicious fashion. That's just crazy, huh? And I guess the sad thing to think about too is a lot of people like this actually get away with it many times, I would imagine, because they play on other people's ignorance. Because you would say here, what? It's a mom. She has a child and all that. There's no way she would do something like that. Yet when you put all the facts together, it tells you a completely different story. And that's what makes me think where for those people who can't debate on things, on facts and all that, they only rely on trying to slander other people. I personally see no difference in terms of, let's say, personality and all that. I think it's the same thing. So it's always surprising for me when I see people, for example, let's just say, I will say a corrupt, drone operator or a school or something like that, where they actually go around trying to harass other people, trying to make them sound bad just so they can benefit from it financially. I think it's the same thing. That's why I usually find it really fascinating in terms of studying things like characters and personalities. How do you really determine what a person is going to be like and all that? Because imagine that, like in this case, where you think the person's all nice and all that, but in the background, this is what they do to people, I guess you could say, to get ahead in life in some way. Alright, see you guys later.